Good day, everybody. Just got home, spent a couple of days up in Quebec, self-isolating at the cabin. Was over at Tom's for a fire, and he said, hey, seeing as we're drinking the last of my beer and we have no toilet paper left, let's take a run up to Quebec. So I said, sure. I probably should ask more questions when he said we can try that French tickler and buy all the cheap beer we want. But I trust Tom. All loaded up. Tom and I are going to head up to Quebec. We're going to do a run up to the camp, see if we can get some cheap beer, and check the next province over, see if there's any toilet paper, because now we're both out. Stay tuned. So I want to start a new series here, and we'll call it Surviving Together. We're all in this together. We're all self-isolating, social distancing, sitting at home with nothing to do. There's going to be no new shows to watch this spring. You know, they're not filming anything. And immediately I thought, well, hey, I'm still filming every day. Lots of these guys on YouTube are filming every day. And to be honest, I watch more YouTube than I watch TV. So I don't think it's going to hurt my entertainment time. And it shouldn't hurt yours either. So come and join me. And we'll call this series Surviving Together. We'll still do all the other little series that I do, but I'm always looking to add to the channel and do something new. And hey, we can have a laugh through this. And mostly it's a laugh at ourselves, the stupidity of the human race at this point. So if you have a sense of humor, come and join me for this new series. No corona here in Quebec. Nope, no toilet paper in Quebec either. Here's orange. What a wasted trip. Could be creative. This would work. I'm not there yet. Got a drawer of old socks. I saw on the news now they're complaining that everyone is flushing the hand wipes and the sanitizer towels down the toilets. Come on, humanity. What is wrong with these people? That is a system you do not want to clog at a time like this. Nobody's going down there to fix that. Just don't do it. Be smart. And the stores up there actually had sanitization depots, I guess, at the entrance. You could use hand sanitizer, either the wipes or Purell. And we just told the kids, when you go in, use it. When you come out, use it. That's a common sense thing we can teach our kids right there. In and out. You don't know what you're carrying in with you, so kill it right there at the door. And you don't know what you're coming out with. So again, kill it at the door. I also paid for my beer and groceries up in Quebec with a credit card. And I guess because I wasn't in my home province, they actually required a signature. And I'm gonna say I did not like the kid handed me the pen. I didn't want to reach out there and grab that pen and use it. Probably rightfully so. So I would recommend something that people aren't even thinking about, guys. Carry your own pen in your pocket when you're out and about. If you have to sign for something. Oh, the joys of getting into camp. Lots of trees to cut down. Lots of work. That there is the peanut butter antifreeze mousetrap. If you are from Northern Ontario, or in this case Quebec, you are familiar with this setup. The mice come up the little ramp, they go to get the peanut butter, the cans spin, and they end up down there in the antifreeze. Just met a guy here at the cottage, and he pulled up to have a beer with us, and has a beer with us, and then he tells us he's a friend of Tom's, and then he tells us after he has the beer, well, I'm on COVID-19 self-seclusion. I just got home from travel. That would have been nice to know before we shared a beer. Tom's neighbor came over to have a beer, and my first instinct was to step off the porch and come down and shake his hand, and I didn't. I stopped myself at the last second, and I just thought, you know, that's not a good idea. And we had a beer, and, you know, 15 minutes into the conversation in the meeting, he says, by the way, I'm on self-isolation. And it would be easy for me to say, I'm sure he's fine, he doesn't have COVID-19, but we don't know. He's in self-isolation because he just came home and traveled through an airport, an international airport, And God knows where he was before that, so we have no clue. So just remember to practice, you know, it's so easy to forget in the social norm to shake somebody's hand and whatever. Don't do that. And I caught myself the other day. I almost did, but I didn't. I made sure I kept my 2-meter distance and my gloves on. There was no handshaking going on there. So even out here in seclusion in the forest, you never know who you're going to run into. Tom just finished the second beer run of the day. Ran out already.
So I was going to ask, do you think our beer will freeze out there tonight?
Maybe.
I think we might have to bring it home.
Yeah, if you put your sled on its side, you can leak oil. Quite a bit of oil, actually. Now I do that on purpose. Tom can't get to the gym right now because they're closed down, so I like to keep his heart rate up a little bit, so if you roll a machine every now and then, it just keeps him on his toes. We were reading in the paper this morning that some guy from up there was worried about his life because he cleaned out the freezers, I guess, at the local store. Took all the meat out of the freezers, purchased it for himself, and there's a lot of wrath at this guy for being so greedy and ignorant. And my first thought was, I'm not angry at that guy so much. I'm more angry at the store that allows that guy to do that. That's like almost a form of profiteering. Whoever wants to come in with the most money, I'm just going to let you clean out my shelves. When really those guys have to be the gatekeepers for the rest of us and say, hey, common sense, calm down, everything is fine, there's lots for everybody. There's a limit on these. There's a limit on these steaks. There's a limit on this toilet paper. Those are the guys we need to step up and protect the interests of all of us. Well, a generator just went out. That's life at camp. And we shouldn't be out of gas, so we got to go check it out. We're sitting here in the dark, just watching the fire. That's the fourth time the generator's gone off on its own. Tom thinks there's a squatch out there flicking the switch because we can't figure out what it is. There's nothing running except a couple of lights in here. What did you say it was, Ty?
Sasquatch.
I think you're right.
Oh, 2 pair again. There's a flush out there too.
Now that's quality cottage content right there. As part of my 18-month self-seclusion, I'm learning the banjolele. La fromage québécois. What did you think the tickler was? Had I seen the price of that, I wouldn't have let Tom buy that. I guess he's not watching the stock markets these days. I think we're both in the hole about 12,000 blocks of the tickler.
Damn, that Sasquatch is good. Stole my slipper. Yep. It was that cold I slept with slippers on. Till one got stolen. Yeah, just a little frosty this morning.
Look what I have returned home to. My wife found toilet paper. We're gonna make it, people. We're all going to make it. But I gotta say that even one night at the camp was almost enough. Thank God we had internet up there because we're just so accustomed to these things now, you know? It's not the same as it was 30 years ago. I keep telling my kids it is, but it isn't. We have internet. I have 400 channels on the TV. Not that I'm really interested in that, but it's there if we need it. There's entertainment coming out the wazoo. When 30 years ago, we went out and entertained ourselves. Maybe there's still hope for our kids. Maybe we can get them to start entertaining themselves again. I don't know. But I think it's too late for me because I got to tell you that even one night up at the camp, I was like, oh God, I got to get home. So we did drop off a 12-pack of beer for one of the older people in our lives on the way home today. Called and asked us, you know, hey, she was angry because she self-isolated because her two lunch mates both have respiratory issues, so they self-isolated her as well. And she's 86, and she's rightfully angry. She doesn't understand, why am I in self-isolation? I'm not sick. So she called us and said, hey, can you get me 12 beer when you guys come home? So we did. And where I'm going with this is even that in the healthcare facilities, or the old age facility here, they have a lockdown so that you can't come in and visit. And they have a big sign on the door that you have to buzz in. Well, we went and we buzzed in and we had to set the case of beer down on a table. And then the woman waits until you leave, till you go back outside the door. And then literally 10 seconds later, she comes out and gets the case of beer. I said, our germs are still on that case of beer. Like, that is not doing anything. We could have just came in and handed you the case of beer. It's the same as you coming out and picking it up. So even healthcare professionals, I'm waiting for them to update the numbers and actually state how many weeks they think this is going to take, because it's not going to be 2 or 3 weeks that they're talking about right now. It's going to be many weeks of this if we hope to stop the spread. So you guys will just have to join me and watch a whole lot of Unfrequented World. Great grandma lived with my grandma at the end, and they used to have a routine that every day at 11 they would watch The Price is Right together, have 2 beer, and eat a bowl of salt and vinegar chips every day. That was their thing. And great grandma was 92 at the time. So hey, good on you. You know what makes the world go round. And my grandmother would always say, it's noon somewhere, because Price is Right started at 11. So guys, I hope wherever you are, it's noon. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you guys in the next adventure.